we're going to get on to the first segment of the day, and that is to talk about Nickacado Avacado. Whoa,
I look good today.
You look so good today. So, for those of you who watch my YouTube or my Twitch, you know I've been covering Nickacado and Moist Critical, or Penguins, whatever you want to call him, or Charlie. He did basically, I don't know if you guys know who Moist Critical is. He's pretty good. He's a content creator. He just kind of talks about stuff. It's really nothing too crazy. This is him. He did a commentary video on Nickacado. Here, he said this YouTuber slowly killing himself for views, which is true. I believe it. Nickacado responded. Then he responded back, clarifying some of the things that he said. Some of them wrong. I think at one point, somebody said that he has like a personal maid walking around.
A personal what?
Like a maid or something. Just something, a lie that he saw on Reddit, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I messed up." And then he made sure in his following up video to clarify, "Don't send hate to this person." But I do think that Nickacado is eating himself into an early grave.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, I feel like that's a truth. And he made a video, he responded. This all starts off with, look at these videos. My new diet as a disabled person.
Yeah, no, I want to scroll down a little bit. I want to see where I watched from. I guess I watched the I started watching with the I keep gaining weight and now I don't care anymore.
Yeah, okay.
So that's where I started watching, and then I watched a couple until my new diet as a disabled person with the whatever bag that is to the left.
You know what's interesting though? So one of the things that Moist Critical called him out for was that, first of all, he's using. I kind of feel like this is almost ableist. I feel like this is ableist.
It's literally just like so stupid. Like if he's disabled like this, then like everyone is disabled.
Yeah, it just feels like a belittling of what it means to have a disability.
You jam your finger playing basketball, I'm disabled.
Technically, sure, but that's one of the points he made. He was like, well, I broke my ribs, so I'm disabled. It's like, okay, but you wouldn't consider somebody disabled for that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And it's clearly a new hook. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos.
Can I tell you something that I didn't talk to you about yet?
What?
So I was watching, I don't know what video it is, but he was like standing in a room and he was doing like his thing where he's like, ugh, and like stomping around and being ridiculous. And it was like, it seemed a little too purposeful for me, where he moved his camera down.
Like this?
And like showed. Yeah, he was doing, please, I don't even want to look at this.
Look at this. What's crazy is he said he broke his ribs. I mean, how do you break your ribs and stomp around like this?
This was before he did.
No, it's not. This is after. This is one of his newer videos. This was after all the I'm a disabled person. Yeah. It's like right here.
Okay, no, but like listen to what I'm about to say to you right now. So it's one of those videos where he's standing and his belly is hanging out the bottom of his shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like talking to whatever, and his camera is going down and giving like the belly view.
I guarantee you that there's like some fetish shit there.
That's what I was going to say. I think, especially with the sleep apnea mask on, like we know he does OnlyFans. I feel like this might be like truly crossed over into some like fetish work.
I don't doubt it. And you want to know why? Because we were talking about this in the car. This is something that she came up with a while back, and I've been really running with it. It's this concept of why people like you on social media. Just because you get a like, it doesn't mean that somebody actually likes you, or it doesn't mean you know why they like you. Let's say I liked him because maybe I think he's really cute or handsome, or I think he's entertaining, or maybe I like that he's eating disgustingly. Maybe I think he's such a joke. Maybe I love to watch him because he's a joke and he makes me feel better about myself by comparison. You don't know. And I feel like the reason people like him is because he's a train wreck and they like to see it. Or because there is a really large pocket of fat fetishists for fat, chubby guys. Well, that's the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. Gay, chubby men. There's definitely, because even for me, when I was really big on TikTok, I had fucking gay shit messaging me. Not gay shit, but
on Twitter.
Gay dudes.
When he would post his like, we used to do fun stuff for OnlyFans where like it started with me like painting his stomach like with stupid shit, and he would get in these like really like. He would like wear my clothes and like we'd do these photo shoots in our backyard.
Or I would make thirst traps on TikTok for fun. And there were some like gay guys who thought it was hot. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I mean, I'm fine with that. But that's like, there's a big pocket for that. And I think that there's probably part of this that is kind of appealing to those people to get them to jump on his OnlyFans. For sure. I guarantee that. And there's probably people liking it because they think that this is hot. But one thing that's interesting is in his response to Moist Critical, that's a weird word, Moist. I hate saying it. Anyway, is that he said he's been using this CPAP machine since he was like 10 years ago. But it's weird that he conveniently pulls it out now for videos on thumbnails when he's saying he's disabled. So he knows he's creating the image that he's like really disabled, and he knows that there's an association with the food, the mask, and the disabledness, I guess you'd say. So he's crying that people are saying like, oh no, like they're calling him out for that. But that's what he's doing. He wants people to. His whole character centralizes around being overweight and unhealthy. And
a bitch, like not like a whiny ass bitch.
Honestly, though,
and I can't.
Yeah, kind of. Honestly,
just, like watching that video, I had only seen him like more recently in like clips on like Facebook or TikTok or like whatever, and like every time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, like shut up.
Yeah,
like him. And like I just don't understand how him and his partner can like exist together. Like it couldn't be me.
One thing that I think people underplay, a lot of people on my video, they were saying, hey, it's just a character, right? And I don't think people understand what that means.
No.
We talked about like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's a character of
like Sarah Michelle Gellar is not a vampire slayer in real life, but this guy is like eating his heart into like complete blockage in real
that's
life.
The thing, and it's like I think, and so I'm not this like holier than thou whatever. I have a general understanding of the way social media works though, as a creator. Like I have a creator's perspective. I'm not big. I was big on TikTok, I guess, but I understand what it's like to have your audience invade your mind and go towards a particular perspective that you wouldn't normally have, or become a particular person you wouldn't normally become because of fan recognition. Like one audience turns on for you, one audience turns off for you, you start getting crafted by it. And that's not an excuse for my shitty behavior like on TikTok that I used to have. It's just like, because it's my fault, but it gives you a perspective of like, this guy has been bred, for lack of a better term, by social media. And this is a character, but it's him. It's not really a character as much as it's a code switch. It's like, oh, time to act all crazy. But if it's just a character, then why did he gain 200 pounds or 100 pounds?
No, I have no doubts that this is like who he is, but like the off-camera version of him is just much sadder and emptier.
Yeah, and probably less exaggerated. But this is
not
who he is.
Even I think that, I mean, maybe like as exaggerated, but I think in a more depressed way. Honestly, there's no way.
Terrible,
and that's
sad.
like that's the thing that like made me not to be like, well, like, but like that's what made me sad watching like his videos. Is I was like, wow, like how empty, And you know what else I thought? Imagine being his fucking neighbors. Just hearing him like scream and bitch like that and stomp around, and like the amount of food. Imagine how his fart smells.
Well, there's been a. You killed yourself. I was gonna make a joke, and then you fucking derailed me with your crazy laugh. I love it. But
like
laugh.
For real though,
I was gonna say, there's a lot of earthquakes in California.
Is there though?
Because he stomps around. That was a joke. I know I'm fat too, but I mean, come on, it was a funny joke.
But no, like for real, like he just seems like very empty to me, and I don't think that this is a complete character. I think part of it is, but I also feel like this character is so in depth that he's probably lost himself in it.
Oh, 100%. What's interesting too is he mentioned that he's really he's healthy. You don't know him; he's healthy. Even though, first of all, he said that he broke his ribs because he was coughing too much and because of his weight. He literally said that. But second of all, he talked about how healthy he was. And one thing that struck me is he talked about how he has a dietitian. And I think it shows a lot. Most people don't need dietitians unless you have a problem with your eating, right? Like I might need a dietitian. I could probably just eat better. I've been actually feeling pretty good. We've been eating a lot more whole wheat. Anyway, you really only need a dietitian if you're unhealthy. And he has a dietitian because he eats so poorly so often, he's not getting the correct nutrients. People don't understand. These foods are horrible for you. Fast food it doesn't just lack micronutrients. It doesn't just lack the right nutrition. It's also fried in oils with preservatives. It's horrible for you. He's not doing this once a week. He's doing it 7 days a week. And he buys all this food. And you watched it and you said he eats most of it.
Yeah, and like that's like part of the conversation we had this morning is like as a fat person who I can't like eat as much as I used to, but like when I was in high school, like me and my friends like used to go in and like I looked at what he ordered and even I was like, damn,
Yeah, and
like that's a lot, and like
he eats most of it. And even if he doesn't eat it on camera, what do you think he's doing with the food afterwards? He's eating it for the rest of the day. Like, of course he's still eating it. Hey, be careful, Poppy. He's coming for you next. He's not going to come for me at all. What? And if he did, it just helps me. Like, let's be honest. If he actually did respond to me, that would just be a positive for me.
No, this is the thing. Like, we're like making these videos. Maybe we're a little mean, like when we talk about some people, but I do think that like we try to like look at things like honestly, but I would love to have conversations with these people and be very like straightforward, and I would have a conversation with him about like his life and like how he's feeling like emotionally and how like his content is impacting his life and like what makes him do it.
Yeah, honestly,
because when I look at him, as we said before, like to me it looks like he's doing a lot of fetish work within this, and people in the chat said that he's getting paid to do the fetish like work, and it's like, okay, if you're making like a shitload of money, that's great, but like what is important to you in making the money if you're ruining your body and probably won't even be able to enjoy that money because you're going to
die early,
from a heart attack.
You know what's interesting though, and it's one of those things where I think that people get addicted to views and money for views, and I know that from like experience. And so one of the things I used to do, like I used to make content on TikTok, like trying to get views rather than trying to say what I wanted to say, and I lost myself. And then now my content now, I don't do that. I make stuff that I enjoy, and I'm proud of most of my content. If I have like a bad piece, I'll be like, all right, I'll move that, take it down. But for the most part, I'm very proud of my content, even if it only gets 2,000 views. That's been really good for my mental health. And if she recognizes it, for me, because obviously she's been fucking through the ringer with me, because you know I'm up and down if I'm having, but I stopped caring about views. Like I care, but I don't care, you know what I'm saying? And it's been really good for me. So I'll have up periods and down periods, and you'll have your up and down. But I think most content creators are desperate to maintain their up periods, which is why, look at this. So this is how it works. He made these. Moist Critical made a response. He responded to him. Moist Critical responded again. So he made 2 videos. Then Nick responded 3 more times. Because he's getting views by talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think he's locked in a I want views loop.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
Yeah, for real.
But it's just like, I don't know. It's like, I don't like this. We were talking again in the car, and I was saying how I'm not one. He's going to be the stricter parent when we have kids.
Absolutely. My mother was very strict with me.
Yeah.
But you know why? It's because I have ADHD, and I needed like a very strict, stern, like...
I don't think I'll be one that really like monitors like what our kids are watching and stuff like that.
I will.
I know you will. But if my kid was watching like, what's his name, Nickacado's content,
yeah,
and especially if they were like an enthused fan, like I would like wonder why and like question
and bring
why.
my child to a therapist. No, because honestly, so if you're the type of person who looks at his content and goes like, wow, I really like if you're somebody who idolizes Nickacado. Because there are people who might. Like, really, if you break it down to its simplicity, this is a guy who gets paid to eat. So people might be like, oh, I wish that was me. But when you look at this is sad, bro.
You know, and I didn't watch much of his videos. Like I said, I only started watching from like 3 videos down. So maybe there's older content where he shows more of his personality and there is like something to have interest in. But...
Oh, no, his content used to be very different. So he used to be a vegan. I think that's why he called himself Nickacado. And what's interesting, though, this is something that is very interesting. He used to undereat and not eat the correct. So it's hard. You can be a healthy vegan, but it takes planning to get the right nutrients as a vegan. Like you just have to make sure that you're ready for a commitment to it, and which is fine. He wasn't doing it right, and he was under eating and not getting enough of his nutrients. To me, that shouts eating disorder, like under eating disorder. And I feel like I just feel like he has a really horrible, unhealthy relationship with food fundamentally.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that.
It doesn't matter in which direction.
I don't necessarily think that like veganism and poor nutrition from that diet necessarily means eating disorder, but fair. He definitely does have a negative relationship with food.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what that's like my opinion, bro. But yeah, no, I just kind of feel bad for the guy. Because I don't think he's a terrible guy. He's just like he's not promoting himself particularly well.